And just in the nick of time, that was way too much of Nick, our producer, but who we love and miss dearly. But yeah, there's a lot going on over there, and I do feel a little bit of FOMO not being there and doing the sports thing. Hey everyone, my name is Adrian San Miguel. I'm a principal partner enterprise architect here at AWS, and joined by my partner in crime, who is solely responsible for me being involved with AWS OnAir. Say hey.
It's my fault. I'm AM. They should have never given me a fork. It's not leaving all day. I'm keeping this fork. You can't take it. You have to pry it from my hand. I'm AM Grabelli. I'm a developer advocate here at AWS. We're going to be talking about ECS container insights with our friend down at the end. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Onur Kırıkçı. I'm a principal product manager in AWS CloudWatch.
All right. So let's start. Before we get into what we release, what we're going to be talking about, and what we're going to be seeing too, because you promised a demo.
All
right. Let's talk about the problem first, right?
Sure.
Let's talk about observability, right? So I'm on the game day team. We use ECS actually. We use it pretty extensively, and we know firsthand. Observability matters.
Absolutely. So you're going to love our solution.
How you determine, right? How you determine what is happening, which we often do. My team's about to go kick off a game day down in Mandalay Bay. If you're watching and you're here, go do that. Go do it. It's going to be fun. But we're monitoring the whole time. So we're using tools in CloudWatch to help with our ECS tasks. But tell me, what are the challenges for teams?
Sure. Indeed, as the name indicates, it is a new version of container insights that we have launched earlier, around 2019.
Okay.
And when we were talking to customers, they were saying that they have some challenges which are preventing them to onboard container insights. So that's why now we have tackled those challenges and delivered this feature with those enhancements. And the first and biggest challenge customers were telling us was the earlier version was requiring them to go through extra steps to dive deep into understand the root cause if they have any aggregated alarm, for instance. And in most of the cases, they have to browse to logs inside console, run logs inside queries, which causes them lose the context. So now, with these enhanced versions, we are delivering detailed metrics up to pod level, task level, container level. When I say pod, we have launched a similar experience for ECS last year, and this year we are launching it for ECS based on the feedback that we received from our customers. So that was the biggest challenge that we are tackling. But of course, it's not the only one.
Yep, and it's funny that you mentioned it. Actually, perfect timing. A friend of mine, a CTO over at a large SI, is standing right there. No, really, that's the homie Travis. Hey, Travis.
Hey, Travis.
I have heard this complaint from Travis and folks on his team and other partner leaders. Once you start getting at scale, observability just starts getting orders of magnitude harder and harder and harder. And that was actually the number one complaint that I heard about this within the last year. Of once you start getting into a second guessing type of situation. Did you do this? Are you observing enough? Did you catch enough? Did you miss something? It just gets more profoundly difficult, and it's going to be really appreciated when we go into the demo about how much easier you made this, because many operations teams at partners, this is like the bulk of what they do when they're building a net new customer environment.
Yep, true, absolutely. Indeed, I'm just going to demo you how you can drill down easily using visual drill downs rather than typing any queries, etc. And also onboarding is easy at the moment. And now we are tackling with the pricing, because since we are delivering more telemetry now, for ECS we are delivering 4x more metrics. For EKS we are doing 9x more metrics. So we are providing competitive pricing to compensate for the gap between what the customers are paying today and what they'll pay with these additional metrics.
Yeah, and that would be very welcome, because like what we were talking about the other day, once you start drilling down to the cluster ID, the pod on the EKS side, and you start looking at the different containers and the different applications, you lose sight of everything having to be CLI. So I'd love to jump into that demo if you're ready.
True. And one more thing. Another challenge that we heard from our customers was, since we're all talking about infrastructure, if that anomaly occurs in their infrastructure environment, they would like to understand the end-to-end impact, not only on the infrastructure, but on their applications and end-user experience. So now, with this feature, you're going to see it end-to-end.
Oh, I can't wait.
Cool. Okay. Let me start with the first challenge then, because when we are talking to customers, they were saying that onboarding is a big challenge for them. So for ECS, it's easy to onboard. Either when you are creating your clusters, when you click on create cluster, as you see, we have monitoring optional here. So the enhanced version that we are introducing, it comes with the top one that you have to click on this bulletin points, or you can also go to account settings to onboard your account into this observability.
So the whole account?
Yes. So the benefit is if you are creating a net new cluster, it's going to come observability enabled by default. That's it. That's all.
That's huge.
Yes. That's all you have to do to onboard observability.
Okay.
Wow.
And similarly for ECS, last year we have unified our agents. So rather than having multiple agents, now you have only one unified agent, which is collecting metrics, logs, traces, all together in a single agent, which was built upon OTel. And that runs under a ECS add-on. So let's say this is your cluster on ECS. When you click on this add-ons tab and get more add-ons.
Can I pause you real quick? Because you just dropped a phrase. I know what it means, but I want to make sure our chat does too. You said OTel, right? Open Telemetry.
Open Telemetry.
Can you tell us about what Open Telemetry is and why that's important that it's supported?
Yeah. So earlier, the customers were using native solutions, such as agents from, let's say, from CloudWatch, agents from Azure, agents from other cloud companies.
Sure.
It is preventing them to move flexibly because it's putting your data into some format that's going to into that solution. But now with ODL, it's providing an independent format that you can use in every place that you are ingesting your telemetry.
Standardized format
yes.
across all of your observability tools.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
So that's why it's very critical.
Perfect.
So now you can see Amazon CloudWatch Observability add-on under your add-on. So if you install this add-on into your cluster, it's going to automatically collect your telemetry and ingest into CloudWatch. And moreover, not only from infrastructure level, but also from your applications. So this add-on enables both the APM feature that we have, which is called application signals, and also container insights. So let's say you have enabled container insights. So that's the typical CloudWatch landing page we have. And under insights, we have container insights. Once you click on it, now you see a brand new landing page. When we were talking to our customers, they were saying that what if they miss creating an alarm in their clusters or containers, which is going to break their experience, right?
Yeah.
So now the network is a bit slow, but on this,
it's always the network.
We're on the expo floor hall here live
that's
in
normal.
beautiful Las Vegas at reInvent. You can tell due to the network connectivity issues.
Yeah, let me just try to refresh. But at the same time, let me just tell you. So here we are representing you two states.
Okay.
We are listing you all of your clusters in a honeycomb view. And here we are representing the alarm state with red and green clusters. But at the same time, we are displaying you utilization information on those clusters if you missed creating an alarm. Which means we are using our best practice thresholds that we collect from millions of customers. We analyze which thresholds values that they use in their alarms and run a backend analysis across your clusters to present these clusters in terms of their utilization level. This is critical for you because if you don't have any alarm on that cluster, you want to know it is at a high limit, such that it may break your application performance.
Okay.
So let me just refresh again. Just checking my...
Yep, we're still connected.
We're still connected, and I have my cable here. I don't know what's
Maybe actually try turning off that Wi-Fi.
Yeah, let's kill that Wi-Fi.
Okay.
There we go, and we'll give that a shot here. It should take a few minutes to load back up. And as we're doing this, I want to remind everybody we are live. You can tell because I have this fork. That means that we're live. I don't know how that signifies that we're live, but it does.
Well, I don't have one, so that's got to be worth something.
That's true. You can ask questions. You can talk to us. I've got chat open. You can please help us troubleshoot internet connectivity issues if you'd like. We know you love helping to solve problems because you are watching.
Yeah.
You're watching this program.
I am watching this program.
You are part of this program, Adrian. You can't watch.
I honestly thought you were going to say I was a part of the problem, but that too. But in all honesty, while we get this sorted out,
let's talk container insights, Adrian. So, like I mentioned earlier, you were talking large scale. You got partners working at large scales with containers. Game day isn't like we're not running containers at an incredibly large scale. I'd say we got about 5 services, maybe about 8 of those, per service running at a time. And it's still difficult. To figure out when you have an issue. And so these types of solutions are exactly what we need, right? What we're seeing, I should say.
There you go.
And we'll be seeing, hopefully soon, in just a few moments, they really help you diagnose issues that are ongoing in production.
Yeah, absolutely. And the key thing there, it doesn't matter if it's one cluster, 100,000, hundreds of thousands. If you miss the one thing, you're kind of on a stipend at that point. You start raising the questions and doubt lingering in the back of your mind of what else did I miss? Which application surface did I forget? And did I enable logging on XYZ? And it looks like we might be good.
Yes, very much.
You don't want to have a guessing game when it comes to hops,
because sometimes the easiest thing is just wipe it and do it all over again.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, so let's go back to the demo, please.
So going back to the conversations, you see that we highlight the classes with high utilization as dark blue, where you can see the risks for these classes, and you may want to monitor it closely just to mitigate creating a custom alarm, or you can ingest more or enable more resources for these clusters just to make sure that your applications are going to remain healthy. One of the biggest challenges, as for instance, assume that I'm a DevOps engineer and I'm responsible for the container environment across the organization, not under my account, but across the organization. So this was the biggest challenge that we heard from our customers, how they're going to monitor their containers across the organization. So now, if you remember, CloudWatch launched cross-account observability like 2 years ago, and now the containers has works integrated with cross-account observability. So if we scroll down on this page, you're going to see all of our clusters here, as we see in the honeycomb view, but with more details, along with account IDs and account names owning those clusters.
Okay.
So if I see any risk in a cluster, I can work with the account owner to make sure that their application is going to remain healthy and operate well. So one last thing on this landing page, we are providing you top 10 resource consuming container environments. So you can browse through your clusters, services, task containers, and see them against your CPU utilization, memory utilization metrics, and identify the risky ones to mitigate before your end user application is impacted.
Okay.
So that's how the landing page solves a couple of challenges that we heard from our customers. But let's say I have this alarm here for my ECS pet clinic demo, and I have a couple of alarms that I have set up at cluster level and service level. But assume that I want to dive deep into this cluster level aggregated alarm, and I'll show you how we can drill down easily to identify the root cause. So now I'm just going to click on this demo name, the cluster name, which is going to take us to details dashboard strip. So on the left-hand side, we are displaying you container hierarchy, which you can use to browse through different layers of your containers. But on this page also, we are providing you metrics around like the alarm metric, along with some summary metrics, and also performance metrics, along with count metrics, such as service count, task count, etc. Please note that this demo runs on a Fargate cluster, so that's why we don't have any instance name here. So now I have that alarm for my CPU utilization. What is the container causing this issue? So I can browse through these layers, and let me just go directly to container layer. And it looks like this is my container, which is customer service, having this high CPU utilization.
Interesting.
So now I know the root cause, so that container. So all I need to do is assign more resources to this container to make it healthy, remain healthy. But again, going back to our earlier question, what is the impact of this failure on your application? So if I click on this container to filter for this container only, and if I scroll down and click on my application signals tab, application signals is CloudWatch APM tool, application performance monitoring tool.
Okay.
Now it displays me the service running in my applications, which is impacted by the anomaly in my environments. So now by clicking on the service name, I can go to the application details to see application related metrics. But I would like to show you one more application which we didn't code from our infrastructure anomalies, but it's occurred that there is one more service which is unhealthy. It should be this visit service, and yes, it's visit service, and it should be, we should have some service availability issues, but demo, it's the Murphy rule, so we don't have it here. But I assume that that's the issue that we have. I'm just going to click on this API gateway one, which has a lower availability, and now we are on our APM console. This is the application performance monitoring tool we have, and we are displaying you these application metrics out of the box. And if you want to know not only this API gateway, but is there any other services being impacted by this failure, all I need to do is click on this service operations. It's going to display me the service operations under this service. And if I click on, let's say, any data point on my latency metric, for instance, it's going to display me the traces. And when I click on traces, it's going to display me all the correlated services, not only my failing API gateway, but my customer service, my remote service, all of them are impacted because of the failure in my API gateway. So that's how we deliver you the end-to-end observability, starting from infra up to application layer.
Let me ask you a question real
Sure.
quick. So I know you mentioned task and container level visibility.
Yeah.
So that means some more metrics to track.
Yeah.
When I hear more metrics to track, do you know where my mind goes?
Sure.
It goes to my bill, right?
Yes.
Can you talk to us about the costs that are going to be associated with this?
Both solutions, both ECS and EKS, they come with new pricing. The EKS comes with observation-based pricing. When I say observation, it is indeed a data point that you ingest at a single timestamp.
Okay.
And with that observation-based pricing, we are targeting to enable you to onboard this benefit with no extra cost. So, and in some cases,
I like the sound of no extra cost. How about you, Adrian?
That sounds fantastic.
Okay.
And depending on your container environment numbers that you have for your clusters, pods, etc., you maybe end up with paying less than what you used to pay.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Actually, kind of leads me into another question. Chat, what are you using today to onboard for your observability? What are the type of challenges? Does it sound like this is going to be extremely beneficial, especially with the low to no cost that we just talked about?
Yep.
Would love to hear about it in the chat. And by all means, if there's any additional questions, comments, we would love to hear about it. And then question.
Sure.
And it's something else that just came out to me, and it may have been sparked by seeing Travis over there a minute ago.
He's haunting me.
He is haunting. He usually haunts my dreams, but that's a different story. Anyway, so do you foresee that this is going to drive additional native observability adoption? Do you think that this is going to just lead to that path of folks just seeing how easy it is and how intuitive it is that people are maybe willing to consider leveraging the service or these refinements? Because I honestly think they do. It's compelling enough to make it as foolproof as possible so you don't have to go and build a new routine and just leverage the native stuff and get into the as granular level as you feel like you need to.
Yeah, absolutely. As CloudWatch, our goal is to eliminate the dependency on domain knowledge.
Yeah.
So you may not have your best experience engineer all around all the time, right?
Right.
So with this created experience, this is our goal. And for instance, at this event, we have launched Database Insights too. It is very similar experience, all created experience, created dashboards that helps you to monitor your databases, Aurora databases at the moment, out of the box. So that's our intention and goal indeed.
I think, and we live this on the team that I'm on, setting up something like this, you mentioned the onboarding. It's just a click.
It's a click, yeah.
I've heard people use this phrase. I don't know what it means. It's so easy that even AM can do it. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like this is applicable. Anyway, the point I'm trying to get to is our team, the people who write the code, are also the people who are monitoring when we're running game days, the services. They're not necessarily operations people. So having things pre-built like this, these dashboards that they can go into, they're not, we do have operations people on the team that's their specialty, but that's not everyone.
Yeah,
and everybody is responsible for observability when we're running that on our team. And that's true for a lot of teams out there, right?
Absolutely. And with this detailed visibility, enable customers to also create aggregated alarms, because this is another challenge that they have. Rather than creating alarms on each container or in each task, is both effort and also cost, right? So now they can create aggregated alarms and drill down easily when it fires.
Now, this has been fantastic, Omer. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us today. Any parting gifts, any parting nuggets of wisdom you'd like to give the crowd, give the chat?
Sure. It's already live, so please go and try. It's, as I said, it's very easy to test, so we would like to hear back from you.
All right.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Speaking of hearing from you, we've got survey to fill out at some point too, and we've got more content coming for you, and we want to talk to you. So please stay here with us, hit us up in chat, and we'll see you for more on OnAir.
See ya.